Hi there, everybody. Mr. Gowerluck here, talking to you about fractions, expanding fractions, and reducing fractions, or simplifying them. If we start with 3/4, we know we can double these numbers and still have the same quantity. It's like taking the lasagna pan, cutting the lasagna into 4 pieces, but even cutting them into smaller pieces, even smaller pieces, even smaller pieces, until you get 20 little pieces, but each piece is tinier and tinier and tinier. Yet if you put them all back in their original spot, it's the same amount. Now the amount hasn't changed. The numbers have changed. It just means that they're smaller pieces. Well, sometimes in life you're going to see numbers that, for whatever reason, are really big and maybe even kind of ugly and aren't as much fun. When you take a look at 30/40ths, 26/40ths, 110, 1/15ths, 54/60, we have to start asking ourselves, can we reduce these and use some friendly numbers to help us? So friendly numbers might be 2, cutting a number in half, 5, 10. Those are pretty friendly numbers to work with. People don't oftentimes have, a problem cutting numbers in half. Like 30, if you cut it in half, you have 15. 40, if you cut it in half, you have 20. So you'd have 15/20. But that isn't done. And we're not done with that. Sometimes you have to use a combination of friendly numbers, where like if you had 15/30, 15/20, use your fives. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, 20 divided by 5 is 4. But you might just say, well, 30 divided by 40, they end in 0, so 10 works. All of that is good thinking, and we want you to be able to think. So anyway, let's take a look at 26/40, because we just did 30/40, which we ended up cutting in half and then using fives, or simply using tens and making it 3/4. 26/40, we know that we can divide it by 2, and we can get 13/20. Then you have to ask yourself, are there any other can I use like 3s? Can I use 4s? Can I use 7s? Well, 13 is prime, so it's done. This thing is as simplified as it gets because we have a prime number there. 54/60. Well, I know 2 goes into both of them because they're even. Is there another number that could go into them? Maybe 4? Maybe 3? Well, based on my extensive math knowledge, I know that 5 plus 4 is 9, and any number that's divisible by 3, like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 3 will go into it. 3 can go into 54 18 times. And I know that 3 goes into 60 20 times. But guess what? I'm not done. They're even numbers. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 20 divided by 10, 20 divided by 2 is 10. I could have gone way back here and said, oh, hold on, 54 divided by 6 and 60 divided by 6. I could have used 6s. 6 isn't one of my friendly numbers necessarily. For some of you it might be. For others maybe not. And 110 divided by 115, immediately what might stand out is you might say, well, 5 is a friendly number. And I know this is even, so that means 10 also would go into it. But let's start with 5. I know 100 divided by 5 is 20, so 110 divided by 5 is 22. 115 divided by 5, well, that's just one more 5, so it's 23. And guess what? 23 is prime. So if you can get one of them to prime, you're done. And that is simplifying fractions really quick in a nutshell. Hopefully that helps you out. Good luck, everybody, and I hope that your assignment goes well.